Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Nabila Akila, and today, me and my team members, Daniel Hakimi, Nurul Ashikin, and Atira Batrisha would like to present about CSI and genetic fingerprinting. CSI and genetic fingerprinting is a technique used especially for identification as for forensic purpose by extracting and identifying the best pair pattern in an individual's DNA. During investigations, CSI have a number of different specialist powder and brushes to find the fingerprints in a crime scene. Once a fingerprint is located, the CSI may photograph the fingerprint or more likely recover the print by using tape and acetate sheet. They will ensure that each recovered leaf is on appropriate standards so it can be used, and will endorse each fingerprint leaf with a unique reference number. In 1984, by British geneticist Elliot Jeffrey, has recognized that each individual has a unique pattern of fingerprint. There is no two people have the exact same fingerprint. Even identical twins with identical DNA have different fingerprint. We touch things every day like a coffee cup, a car door, a computer and keyboard. Each time we do it, it's likely that we leave our unique signature behind, which is our fingerprint. So, what are the benefits of indirect research? Actually, there are a lot of indirect research benefits, which are firstly, credit and financial benefit for research founding institute, where the case of Elliot Jeffrey, although the fact that he discovered or established DNA fingerprinting, the listed institute which financed the study profit well for it from the finding of genetic fingerprinting. Secondly is development of important scientific discovery, which Elliot Jeffrey argued that laser, nuclear, magnetic, and etc. all originate from basic physical research. After that, the leverage for development of new technology product where the road from detection to practical application usually take long. So basic research help in creating enabling platform idea and discovery to springleaf new technology and product. Next is push factor, that indirect research bring about curiosity and act as catalyst for researcher to do more. And lastly is disruptive innovation, where it encourages scientists and researchers to focus more on the concept of the research itself without having to worry about the market or commercialization of their discovery. So the second question is, should firm undertake indirect or curiosity research, or should all researchers link product and business? In my opinion, researchers should be linked to product and business because Sir Ellie has said, I have never approached an experiment with a desire to solve a practical problem. It's a strong example of unpredictable study that contradict the primary goal of research creation by supporting institutions and supporters such as Lister. Although companies has a limited time to compete and shareholders want to return on their money, it is impossible for firms to fund the research that takes a long time with dwindling role and uncertain or virtual market. But if linked with product and business, it will provide firms with invention idea and innovate into a product, and business with prediction of profitable market, direction and time frame. Other than that, in order to become a leader in an industry, firms have to link their research to product and business, while at the same time keep aside a little portion of their research for curiosity-driven research.
For this question, how it illustrates the power and influence of radical innovation and incremental innovation at the criminal justice system. Prior to the discovery of DNA analysis, most juries rely on hard evidence such as fingerprint to convict a criminal. Fingerprints have many flaws that may cause jurors to make incorrect judgment about suspect. For many years, fingerprints were the gold standard for linking suspect to a crime scene. Today, the gold standard is DNA evidence because DNA can be collected from virtually anywhere. Even a criminal wearing gloves may unwittingly leave behind trace amount of biological material. It could be a hair, saliva, blood, semen, skin, sweat, mucus, or earwax. All it takes is a few cells to obtain enough DNA information to identify a suspect with near certain. At the heart of DNA evidence is the biological molecule itself, which serves as an instruction manual and blueprint for everything in your body. DNA can make so much work and valuable in investigation it is almost impossible for someone else to have DNA that is identical to yours. It has been used to prove that suspects were involved in crimes and to free people who were wrongly convicted. For this question, why Alex Jeffries is not a household name when he contributes to society that DNA fingerprint has made? Because scientific discovery itself rarely produces fame nor fortune. It is the application of this science that usually leads to fortune and to a lesser extent fame. However, ICI, a chemical company, bought the patient from Lister Institute and formed a company called Selmat Diagnostic to commercially exploit the technology, and it earned name, fame, and was extremely successful and profitable over the next 20 years. Jeffrey helped commercialize and popularize the science by coining the inspired phrase genetic fingerprint and foreseeing the forensic implication. It has been the forensic science laboratories around the world that have embraced, adopted, and further developed this technology.
After the Second War in 1930, forensic science was quickly recognized and appreciated by the police and the general public. Fortunately, DNA profiling is the most significant development in forensic science and was pioneered by the FFS. Furthermore, DNA research has produced the most significant advancement in crime identification since the use of fingerprints at the beginning of the last century. As a result, the powerful implementation of a new technologies in the DNA fingerprint industry continues to produce unrealistic or unreasonable expectations. DNA fingerprint industry brings science to the masses and encourage people to be interested in science, since science can help us uncover the truth as is portrayed in the popular television show such as CSI. Moreover, due to the impact of the popular television show CSI, many are influenced by the world of science, where it attracts their interest into this field, especially among children. Not only that, but CSI also helps increase interest of most children, which in turn then to learn it and pursue it as a career. But public understanding of DNA is limited to apply science that can help society solve problems. This will somehow limit the ability of research that we believe can achieve larger applications of one particular problem at a time.
The cutting-edge technology and its spin-off, which was widely exaggerated and glorified forensic science, affect the public and in turn affect trials, such as burdening the prosecution by creating greater expectation about forensic science that can be derived. Next, burdening the defense by creating exaggerated faith in the capabilities and reliabilities of the forensic sciences, and reduction in rate of conviction with little physical evidence, largely due to the influence of CSI on jury members. Also, the CSI shows gave the general and erroneous perception of long, tedious process of how police solve crime from physical evidence to convicted crime. thereby making the public demand unrealistic and instant result from the police. However, as every coin has both sides, so did CSI phenomenon. The CSI phenomenon thus increased interest of people in an area of previously regarded scientific insignificance, such as DNA and fingerprinting. It also helped children to develop their interest towards science, thus opening the opportunity for many people to take interest and build their career in forensic science. Even though forensic science has been a lot helpful in solving crimes, the premise by which the verdict of error is placed by the jury seems totally inaccurate and thus may not be considered as reliable and absolute means of evidence of conviction. We assume it goes thus as forensic evidence solves crime and probability of convicting a criminal using forensic is approximately 1. The probability that forensic science cannot detect criminal who commits a crime is 1 in a billion. This left a clear chance of approximately 0.01% that a suspect didn't commit a crime. Even though this percentage is highly infinitesimal and insignificant, its chances of occurrence under statistic rule is overruled by the jury. This is a serious concern that may turn an innocent into a felon if not carefully considered. All things considered, this case has shown the impact of DNA fingerprinting on the world and the forensic world in particular. It has been considerable to help in no small way by the success of the CSI television series. And yet, the story of the scientists who uncovered DNA fingerprinting is largely unknown. But this is not unusual and indeed arguably is the norm for the most scientific advancement. The success, however, of DNA fingerprinting has led to problems in the world of prosecution and a phenomenon known as a prosecutor fallacy. This case also provides an insight into the debate on the extent of curiosity-driven research. Last but not least, this case study also raised issue whether scientists today are exploited by the system. Not all scientists today are able to maintain their independence, and many seek funding from industry for their research. That's all from us. Thank you.